So there were 7 first-year head coaches last year in the 2021 NFL season, and today we are going to go through every single one of them and giving grades for every single first-year head coach, whether they're already fired mid-season or postseason. I'm going to give you my thoughts on every single one. So I'd like to welcome you to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And if you enjoy videos like this, if you enjoy football content, college football content, all this type of stuff, make sure you like, subscribe, and put the post notification bell on so you do not miss any future content. So let's get right into the video. So the first coach we're going to be talking about is Urban Meyer from the Jacksonville Jaguars. This was a bust from the start. Urban Meyer not traveling with the team. The locker room was already divided on him, bringing back Tim Tebow. This was just a disaster. This is getting an F minus, if that's actually a thing. There should be, if there was a lower grade, I would give Urban Meyer the worst grade possible, and F minus seems right, even though there's no such thing. I'm just putting the minus on there just to show how bad he was. He just wasn't. There's such a big difference in coaching college athletes and college football players, college students, college kids, to coaching NFL players, to coaching players that are really getting paid. There's a big difference, and Urban Meyer couldn't do that. He couldn't coach NFL talent, but he was was a legendary college coach. So that's not on him. Not gonna spend too much time on him. It was just crazy with him. We all know. No one believed in him. The locker room didn't. So yeah, he's definitely getting an F. And then you have David Culley from the Houston Texans, which is the second guy we're talking about today. I thought David Culley did okay. I'm gonna give him a D plus. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't terrible. The Texans team did okay. I thought they did well with the veteran guys that they had, with the roster that they had. I thought Culley did okay. He still struggled, but that's going to happen when you have a team like the Texans, not much of a roster. Culley was actually doing pretty good with Davis Mills there. I really liked what Davis Mills was doing. And he is a great human being, but, as a coach, as the Houston Texans, they felt like they needed to move on from him after only 1 year. And, I'm going to give David Culley a D+. I think that is fair for a coach that didn't have much to work with. Did okay. He had the locker room. He was a great leader. He was a solid leader. Just couldn't, the Texans just feel like they have to move on to progress in the organization, to progress in becoming a better football team. So David Culley gets a D+. Okay, and then we're gonna move on to our third guy. The third guy is Arthur Smith, the guy from the Atlanta Falcons. I was disappointed with Arthur Smith. I was disappointed with this offense. I did expect Arthur Smith to be able to come over and make the run game a threat. And not necessarily a threat it was, but it was something to watch out for. Cordell Patterson had an amazing year under Arthur Smith, but Mike Davis was actually the guy brought in to be that guy. Just didn't end up happening. It happens, and Cordero Patterson comes in and he has a career year, and but the rest of the offense was kind of let down. The rest of the offense was a letdown. You did have Calvin Ridley for some of the season. Then he had the issue with the mental stuff. I 100% respect it. Hope he gets better. Mental health is just as important as physical health. So I wish him the best of luck. But you still had other weapons. You still had Kyle Pitts. You still have Russell Gage, Hayden Hurst. You still have some solid weapons, and then Matt Ryan is okay. Offensive line is terrible. Offensive line is not very good, so didn't have much to work with there. The defense was not very good either. There were two bright spots on the defense, and AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett are two bright spots. Even though Grady Jarrett's stats don't show, he is doubled and triple teamed almost every time, and then opposing offensive lines don't have to worry about the rest because they don't have anything else. They don't have a solid edge presence. They don't have a another interior guy that can help Grady Jarrett out. So Smith was left with a tough spot. But I'm happy he finally he finally figured out Kyle Pitts, who was great once he got going. AJ Terrell was great. You did good with that. But I think I'm gonna give Arthur Smith like a C minus. You know, I just feel like he could have done more. I feel like he could have expanded in the pass game a little more. I feel like he could have done better with that. Even though Matt Ryan is aging, the offensive line isn't great when you have a quarterback that can't run. He's aging, and it's starting to show in his arm a little bit. It gets difficult to work with him. It starts to get difficult. So I'm gonna give Arthur Smith a C minus. I think that's fair. You guys let me know what you think, and and then for and then for the fourth coach that we're going to be talking about today is Robert Saleh, the New York Jets head coach. I thought Saleh had a decent year. You know, he did. He worked well with what he had. The Jets didn't look terrible, and I think the Jets have a bright future. They really do. So, so you look at Saleh and how he did with this team. He did pretty darn good. Now Zach Wilson did struggle in the beginning. He struggled mightily. He struggled big time, and then he gets hurt, right? And then you have Mike White come in, and Mike White is playing out of his mind. Mike White is playing like a starter in this league. So props to Saleh for getting him in here and getting him the chance and doing the best he could with them, and then ultimately getting the best out of him. And then you got the other guy, Josh Johnson. You got him in for the Colts game. You're down a lot. I know you're down so much, but Josh Johnson, Robert Saleh still found a way to put up that many points and have an awesome game. Robert Saleh has a decent scheme. I think he's going to be a good coach for this Jets team for quite a while. Towards the end of the season, Zach Wilson really started to pick it up. He started to do a lot better. But we've seen that a lot with the Jets. We've seen them pick up at the end a lot. Could they stay consistent throughout the season? I don't know. I'm not sure. And not much stuff at wide receiver. Corey Davis was a letdown. Michael Carter, he did a great job with Michael Carter. And he did an okay job with the defense. The run defense was okay. The defense was not the greatest, but it wasn't absolutely dreadful. It was okay. The offense got going at the end a little bit. I like what Robert Saleh did with this Jets team, but I'm only going to give him a C. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the C. I was thinking about a C plus, but I think I'm going to stick with the C. I'm going to stick with the C. Robert Saleh, he is a solid coach, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do now. He's going to have a whole offseason with Zach Wilson, Michael Carter. You're going to have a whole offseason to get your offensive line healthy and Mekhi Becton. Maybe Corey Davis gets healthy and hopefully he comes back and he figures something out. And then you have Braxton Berrios. You have a lot of weapons here. I would like them to get a tight end and maybe figure out their center or right guard. I feel like they got to get the interior offensive line a little better. Maybe right tackle. But nonetheless, Robert Saleh had a decent coaching year. I'm gonna give him a C. I think his leadership is great as well. I think Robert Saleh is gonna be around the Jets for a while. I'm gonna give him a C. I fully expect that to improve next year to a B or higher, maybe a C plus. Okay, so and then we have Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions. I absolutely love what Dan Campbell did with this Lions team. I absolutely loved it. I know the Giants finished 3-13-1, but 7 of those losses were close to being victories. And I cannot wait to see what Dan Campbell does in year 2. With what he did with that team in year 1 was incredible. His leadership is incredible. You love his leadership. His passion is through the roof. He loves the game and he's coaching it because he loves it. When you see a coach having tears in a press conference, it shows how much he cares. It shows how much he loves the game, how much he loves coaching those players, and when they lose, he feels it because he has that passion. I love Dan Campbell. I love this coach that Detroit picked, that Detroit hired. He is the culture change that they needed. They needed someone with some fire to come in, and Dan Campbell has just that. And then you beat the Arizona Cardinals. They were in a lot of games that they shouldn't have been in. Ravens. They beat the Cardinals. They came close to beating the Ravens. There were many games where they were close. They were very, very, very competitive. They made a lot of games very close. They could have very easily had 2 or 3 more wins on that record. Justin Tucker, if that's not Justin Tucker, they're 4-12-1. But that's NFL. That's ifs, buts. You truly can't go off of those. But just saying, this Lions team was so competitive. Even though the talent wasn't through the roof, the talent wasn't great, but this team was so competitive. He got this team to love the game. They did struggle to call game plans. They did. He did struggle to call the offense a bit. But when you don't have amazing players to execute, it's going to happen at times. I believe he stripped Anthony Lynn of his play calling, and he took over for a little while. And this team did great. This team did great. Now, I mean great for what they had. The players believed in Dan Campbell. The locker room was behind him, and these players wanted to play for him, and they wanted to play hard for him. That's how you know you got great leadership and you have great traits, great tangibles. We just got to see them put on the field next year, see what they can do when they have even more talent. Which this Lions team is up and coming. Dan Campbell has changed the culture. I think that's a change in need. I think they're going to get something big done. I absolutely think so. So I'm going to give Dan Campbell an A-. I know, maybe that's a little generous for a coach that went 3-13-1, but for how much little talent he had, how much he pumped that team up, how well he did, him taking responsibility for struggling to call plays on offense, stripping it, and then, before that, stripping Anthony Lynn, and then he struggled. He admits to it. He knows he made mistakes. This is a coach that is going to make this Lions team competitive for quite some time. Man, am I excited for Dan Campbell in this Lions team in year 2. Absolutely. I'm giving Dan Campbell an A-. He deserves it. Alright, and then you have Brandon Staley for the Chargers. Now, this one may shock some people. I thought Staley was decent at times. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was great. There were times where they could get stuff figured out when, they struggled to finish games. They just... Brandon Staley's just weird. This was a home run season. You rebuild the offensive line. You got Justin Herbert coming into year 2. You got all those wide receivers, Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams. You got Josh Palmer, who you drafted, Jalen Guyton. You got Jared Cook, Austin Eckler. I feel like this team was let short because I believe he was way too aggressive, and it caught up with them. He was way too aggressive, and it caught up with them. There's a difference in being aggressive and smart and aggressive, than taking unnecessary risks, than being reckless. There's a difference. And Staley was reckless. He was reckless. Man, I don't know. I like Brandon Staley. He is an awesome defensive coordinator. And then the defense struggled as well. He struggled to use Derwin James at a high level. You have Kenneth Murray. You have Joey Bosa. I think that this team could have done so much better. It was his first year, but I'm going to give him a B. I'm just going to give him a B. His first year, called it a good year, a little too aggressive, but he's going to learn from it, and I'm going to give him a B. I think he deserves a B. All the way. It is what it is. They should have made the playoffs. They could have, but they just couldn't get it done when it mattered the most. And that's another thing. That brings me to another point. towards the end of the season, when it truly mattered most, this Chargers team really struggled. They got beat by the Texans. Yeah, they got beat by the Broncos, and then they lost to the Raiders. Not good. Not good. I think they lost to 3 out of the last 4. Not good at all. Not good at all. Not good. So yeah, Staley's getting a B. I feel like that's generous. I should probably give him a B minus. Yeah. Well, let's change it and go for the B minus. Not a huge fan of what Staley did. Even though he brought his team to a winning record, I feel like this team just had a much higher ceiling for where they went. All right. Then last but not least, we have the only rookie head coach, the only first-year head coach to take their team to the playoffs. That is Nick Sirianni on the Philadelphia Eagles. So in the beginning of the season, they started 1-4. Sirianni struggled to find the strength of this team. Didn't really improve until it was, around like Halloween time. They started figuring stuff out. Started figuring to run the ball more, to play to Jalen Hurts' strength. And then he struggled in the Cowboys game. He struggled late. He struggled in the playoffs. But he's a first-year coach, and he brought this team to the playoffs. So I'm gonna give Nick Sirianni an A minus or an A. I think he deserves an A, and an A is what he's gonna get, is what he should get, because in the beginning of the season he struggled, right, and then he had times where he still struggled at times. Where he's a first-year head coach. But I really thought he was a solid head coach. The team likes him. He has good leadership. I like Nick Sirianni. I thought he was a solid head coach over for Philly. So that's all I really got for you guys. I thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think I did a good job rating these guys, or do you think I did bad? Let me know. Let me know what you would change. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and put the post notification bell on. And this is JDW Sports Show. No, this is JDW signing off.